Lesson 11.2, Example 2, and we'll be going over how to compare data sets that are displayed in box plots. So our situation is Caitlin and Philip go to neighboring high schools and both are sponsoring charity fundraisers. Caitlin claims that the students at her school are raising more for charity than the students at Philip's school. The amounts raised by a random sample of 30 students at each school are shown in the box plots below. Does the data support Caitlin's claim? So because we're looking at box plots, the first thing we want to do is get that 5-number summary. So we've got the minimum, the maximum, the first quartile, the median, the third quartile, and then we're also going to calculate something called IQR. IQR is our interquartile range, and we calculate that by saying Q3 minus Q1. So we've got all of these terms to find, and we should be able to read them right off the box plot. So we'll set up a chart, one for Caitlin's school, which I'll represent with a K, and the other for Philip's school, which I'll represent with a P. So the minimum at Caitlin's school was 25, and the maximum was 68. The first quartile was 32. The median was 45. And the third quartile was 52. So if we're going to calculate the IQR for Caitlin's school, we're going to do 52 minus 32, which equals an IQR of 20. And that represents the middle 50% of the data. So that's this section here. So IQR means that there's a range of $20 between quartile 1 and quartile 3. So now we'll take a look at the one for Philip's school. So Philip's school had the same minimum and maximum of 25 and 68. But the quartiles are different. So his first quartile is at 45. His median is at 50. And his third quartile is at 56. So to find the IQR there, we do 56 minus 45, and that equals 11. So the range here for his school was a little smaller in terms of their IQR. So the question is, does the data support Caitlin's claim? And her claim was that students at her school are raising more for charity than the students at Philip's school. So when we're looking at this, first of all, the minimum and the maximum are exactly the same. So the minimum and the maximum aren't going to help us here. What we really want to focus on is this IQR, this middle 50% of students, which is always represented in this box. At Caitlin's school, the middle 50% of students raised between $32 and $52. And the middle 50% at Philip's school raised between $45 and $56, according to their first and third quartiles. And when we look at the median, the average amount, well, not the middle amount, we have 45 for Caitlin's school and 50 for Philip's school. So looking at the IQR, the quartiles, and the median, this data does not support Caitlin's claim. The data does not support Caitlin's claim because the first and third quartile and the median for Philip's school are all greater than Caitlin's school. if Caitlin's school was raising more money, their quartiles and their median should be higher than Phillips, but this is not the case. So the data does not support Caitlin's claim. And for your try it for this, on your worksheet, I'd like you to look at how does the IQR for each school compare to the range for each school. So go ahead, continue to use this 5-number summary and answer the try it question.